Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to this evening's dinner as a culmination for an amazing event, and we appreciate the participation for those of you who have traveled to be here with us as we work together to create a better region. We appreciate our sponsor tonight for dinner, and that's Arizona Public Service. We want to recognize them. At this time, I'd like to introduce Senator John McCain, who has spent a lifetime in unwavering service to America, both in the U.S. Navy and representing the people of Arizona in the U.S. Congress. He has led the fight to strengthen America's national security and our armed forces, eliminate wasteful government spending, and reform government to make it a more responsive to the American people. As the son and grandson of Navy admirals, the values of duty, honor, and service to country were instilled in John from a very young age. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator John McCain.
Thank you very much, and thank you. We are honored to have Governor of Sonora, Claudia Pavlovich, with us tonight, and thank you for being here, and thank you for the wonderful relationship that we have. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very honored. There are so many issues that we need and now are talking about, but I'd like to mention just a few that are so important to both Arizona, Sonora, Mexico, and the United States. First of all, I'm glad to be here instead of being at the zoo called Washington, D.C. It's very hard trying to do the Lord's work in the city of Satan. And I ran into a guy, I just landed at the airport and came over here, and a guy ran up and said, "Hey," he said, "anybody ever tell you look a lot like Senator John McCain?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Doesn't it sometimes make you mad as heck?" So I'm glad to be here with our friends. Look, our trade with Mexico is vital to our economy. When we talk about protectionism and we talk about the TPP and other trade agreements, one of the great successes of the 20th century was NAFTA. And anyone who wants to go down to Nogales or San Luis and see the ports of entry and the trucks lined up and the people lined up, and the fact is that as many of you know, Mexico does more trade with Arizona than it does with Spain. It is vital to our economy, and we need to fix the border. We need to have more customs agents there. Right now, believe it or not, it takes 18 months for someone who applies to work as a Border Patrol or customs agent. As was mentioned, that's ridiculous when you think about a veteran who leaves the military would have to go through an 18-month screening process. So we're going to change that. If it's good enough for the military, it ought to be good enough for Customs and the Border Patrol. So the good news is there's so much traffic. The bad news is because we are understaffed, you'll see empty lanes that should be used. And my friends from Arizona, I say to you, we have some competition from a state called Texas, and they are improving their border facilities, and they are drawing traffic over there that naturally should be ours. We hate Texas anyway. They have lousy Mexican food. So we need to have them fully staffed. I think that it's obvious that to me and to many people in this room that one of the most important things that's happened in recent years is the last transportation bill that authorized funding for I-11. Someday, I don't know if it will be in my lifetime, but someday we're going to see an artery that begins in Mexico, goes through Arizona, goes through Nevada, and goes all the way to Canada. That will be the greatest thing can happen. That would be the greatest thing that can happen. The border banking issue obviously is one that continues to plague us. I have personally spoken to the CEOs of Bank of America, Citigroup, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. We have got to fix that problem. There is no reason why people should be discriminated against just because they live close to our border. That is unacceptable in America. Now I'd like to talk to you about two more issues very quickly. One of them is this issue which is now plaguing America and Mexico, and it's called manufactured heroin. There's a flood of it coming into this country. Governors of northeastern and midwestern states are declaring a national emergency. The death rates as a result of manufactured heroin is dramatically increasing. And believe it or not, one of the most affected populations is older white males because they're switching from OxyContin to manufactured heroin. We have got to attack this issue, and we can only do it when we have the total cooperation between Mexico and the United States of America. My friends, we've got to check this scourge that is killing so many of our citizens throughout our country and killing Mexican citizens as well. So we're going to have to work on that together. On the issue of immigration, I'd like to just mention 2 points. One is we have now more people of Mexican who are returning to Mexico than are coming from Mexico to the United States. That's just a fact. So the next time you hear about all this criticism, my friends, it's not because of Mexico anymore. And that's because we have governors like Governor Pavlovich and others, and a good economy in Mexico, which is keeping citizens in Mexico. That's the good news. The bad news, we continue to see a flood of children coming from the 3 Central American countries, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. And we know that they are near failed states because of drugs and because of gangs. And they are coming through Mexico to the United States. We have to try to help these 3 Central American countries gain control of their countries. And it's got to be a joint effort between the United States and Mexico. Finally, could I say, my friends, these are the most turbulent times that I've seen politically in my lifetime. And anybody who says they can predict what's going to happen politically, please raise your hand, because I sure as hell don't know. And if you just raise your hand, please don't drive an automobile here in the valley. You're a danger to yourself and others. But I do know this. That in Arizona, Spanish was spoken before English. I do know this. One of the reasons why Arizona is a major tourist attraction from people all over the world is because of our Hispanic heritage, our food, our music, our culture, everything about our state, of which we are so proud. And we are proud of our relationship with Mexico. We are proud. I don't know how many Americans know that on a percentage basis, there are more Americans of Hispanic that are Hispanic serving in our military today than any other ethnic group in America. And someday you'll go to the Vietnam War Memorial, where the names of 55,000 people are brave men etched in black granite in the memorial in Vietnam. And you know what you'll see every third or fourth or fifth name? You'll see an Hispanic name. You'll see an Hispanic name. And I'm proud of that, and I grieve about it, because many of them came from poorer parts of our society and didn't have the same ability as some of the wealthier ones did to avoid the draft. But most importantly, I'd like to end up by telling you one very brief story. In 2009, Senator Lieberman, Senator Graham, and I were, as is our habit, 4th of July in Baghdad. General Petraeus, we always go the 4th of July either to Baghdad or Kabul to be with the men and women who are serving in our military on that important date. Senator Lieberman and Senator Graham and I were asked by General Petraeus, who was commanding general then, to attend a ceremony in Saddam Hussein's old palace in Baghdad of re-enlistment of some 200 and a naturalization process for about 95 individuals, servicemen and women. Many of you probably know that service in the military for a green card holder means you have an accelerated path to citizenship. So we were up on the stage. There was probably 2,000 soldiers, sailors, Marines at this ceremony. And as we sat there on the stage, I looked down where the naturalization group was, and there were 3 empty seats in the front row. And each of those seats had a pair of boots on it. And I asked General Petraeus, I said, what are those there? What do those boots mean? He said, those 3 were killed in the last 24 hours, and we're going to give them their citizenship posthumously. My friends, there is no better story or gripping story of what we take for granted and what people are willing to sacrifice and even die for. And so, may I say again, I am proud of our relationship with Mexico. Thank you.
Senator McCain. Gobernadora Pavlovich, ¿me puede acompañar aquí? Each year, the Arizona-Mexico Commission awards hands out two awards. The Paul J. Fannin Award, which was received this year by Arizona On and is not going to be given out tonight. We will deliver that personally. The second award is the Tony Certosimo Award, and it commemorates the spirit of the AMC's first executive director, Tony Certosimo. Mr. Certosimo's dedication and leadership enabled the AMC to grow into the vibrant organization it is today. And if you look around, it's extremely vibrant. It was an amazing success to have as many people as we did with the information that they were able to provide and share. And we are grateful for everybody's participation in this event. And we would like to award the Tony Certosimo Award this year to Dr. Javier Cardenas. And if you will make that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator McCain. Thank you, Senator. This concludes my talking portion. I am grateful to have been able to have done it and to have enjoyed this time here with you. We will see you December in Hermosillo. Please enjoy your dinner and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much on behalf of David Farca and the AMC.